Welcome to day 255 of our BU 365 day challenge to do one thing every day that improves us. Excuse me, breathe wrong. Today, just like the rest of the month of September and this entire month, we are focusing on the area of communication. And I decided, I think I mentioned a couple days ago, I picked all these cards, one for every day this month, and I haven't covered them at all. And it's already the 12th. So let's talk about communication today. And then our topic for today is listening. I will share different steps to listening, different tips to being a better listener. And then today, of course, our action item is going to be, I just thought of this. Number one, rate yourself right now today on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the best listener on the planet, 1 being not so hot, just learning, and not a very good listener. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate yourself? And then as you go about your day, pay attention to how actively and how well you're listening or not, or if you're just hearing people but not necessarily listening to them, because there's a very big difference. So communication, according to this card, magnifying glass, says to form a bridge between you and another. I think that's a great definition of communication. And then listening, it says actively focus on the information you're receiving, because the reason we listen is because we want to get some information. We ask questions because we want to get some information. So we grab my magnifying glass and let's see what some of these tips and steps to being a better listener are. Whenever you research anything online these days, and the internet is a great source of information as well as misinformation, we can find tons of different tips, tricks, and strategies on how to do anything we want on the planet better, and listening is no exception. There's 7 steps to being a better listener: 6, 5, 10, 19, 20. How many ever you want, how many ever steps you think you need, you can find someone's advice on how to be a better listener. The steps to being a better listener and just tips on how to be a better listener. So let's just run through a couple of these lists, and then again, our action item today: rate yourself. How good a listener am I right now? And can you apply our SOAP framework? This is how good I am at listening now. This is what I want to be. And if they're not the same, we can apply the SOAP framework and we can become a better listener just because we intend to. So, and applying the SOAP framework will help us to automatically start taking action and making progress in that area. So let's look at one of these lists. Number 1, listen to learn. I think that's great advice. If we're listening because we want to learn something, we're more likely to actively listen. Number 2, I so can't read my writing. Oh, quit your agenda, meaning don't have an agenda for listening. Listen for the message that the person is trying to communicate, not just what you want to hear. Ask more questions. Pay attention to your talk and listening ratio. A lot of people, and you might not even know, that might be a good action item today. Think about and notice today your talking to listening ratio. How much of your day or in individual conversations do you spend speaking versus listening? We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I think that my dad used to tell me that when we were kids, as well as a lot of motivational speakers say that, because we're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. Because why? We only learn when we're listening. We don't learn when we're speaking. We share what we've already learned, and we might understand it better when we're speaking and teaching other people about it, but we don't learn anything new when we're speaking. We learn when we're listening. Number 5, report back what you've heard in terms of paraphrase what you thought you heard the person say, because a lot of times what we think we've heard and what the person is actually saying are entirely different things. Number 6, actually wait until someone is done talking before you respond or start. And while they're talking, don't just be thinking about what it is that you want to say and how you want to respond. Let's look at 7 steps to becoming a better listener. 1, create a comfortable setting and opportunity to have a conversation. 2, talk less, listen more. 3, be okay with silence. 4, ask good questions. 5, be careful when sharing your personal experiences. Number 6, do not stress about saying the right thing. And number 7, validate them by being vulnerable. Interesting list. So pay attention. Avoid information. Watch your tone, watch your body language, use positive body language, ask questions. The same advice comes up over and over again, no matter how many items are on the list. It's like steps to creating anything you want. You can have 100 steps or steps to success. You can have 100, like some gurus teach, or you can have 5 or 4 or 3, how many ever work for the person who's sharing the information. We can combine things and processes to form one step, or we can break it down into any itty bitty teeny tiny minute detail. So, action item today, listen. Am I listening? Am I speaking? Right now I'm speaking, so I'm not learning anything. So share in the comments below, how good a listener are you? Scale of 1 to 10. And one thing that you noticed today about your listening style. I'm a big interrupter. It's been a lifelong challenge for me to not interrupt. And if I'm interrupting, that means I'm thinking about what I want to say and respond instead of listening. So that's a huge improvement area for me personally. I already know that about myself. I come from a family of massive interrupters and talkers. And so it's a personal development thing for me all the time to continually improve in my listening. All right, have an awesome day. Any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Listen more than you speak today.